Hey guys, Charlie speaking. So I've been watching some old YouTube videos lately, and I remembered a genre of vids that were basically every blank reviewed in 10 words or less. And I've never seen anyone do this with Disney's theme parks before, so here's every Walt Disney World ride reviewed in 10 words or less. Now before we jump in, a couple of ground rules / clarification on what actually counts. So when I mean ride, I mean basically anything besides live shows like Fantasmic, most of transportation to get somewhere else in the park or the resort, and random character meet and greets. So no Liberty Square riverboat or monorail, but yes to the People Mover as it ends right in the place where it starts and it doesn't have any stops in between. Hope that makes sense. Theater shows that are basically screens with little to no live actors count, like Muppet Vision, but Fantasmic and other shows don't because they have a showtime. So general rule, if it has a showtime, it's probably not getting counted. Sorry, Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular fans. Also, I'm not ranking every ride that has existed in the park's history, just the ones that exist right now in November 2024. Because quite frankly, I haven't been alive long enough to do that, and also, I don't think everyone needs to know my opinion on a ride that I haven't been alive for and hasn't existed for a while. It just really doesn't make that much sense. I will throw in for a few honorable mentions for defunct rides and stuff that I think is weird and cool, but other than that, I believe that's everything. Also, they're just my opinions, and most of these rides really aren't awful, they just have the distinction of going up against some really good rides, so the rating will kind of reflect as such. And guys, we're here for fun. Also, I know I'm not any better than any of the Imagineers that worked on these rides. I love their work and everything that they do, and I don't speak for the whole theme park community. I'm just one guy, and this is me largely just poking fun at rides and giving my reasons for why I liked or didn't vibe with them in a fun way. My opinion is not better than anyone else's, it's just in video form. If you agree or disagree with any of my takes, then please let me know. I would love to start a discussion in the comments below. So here's every Walt Disney World ride reviewed in 10 words or less. I know what you put in those texts. Gas fumes never smelled so extended. Now that's not how you scare kids. This is the most you'll work for a fleeting minute of pleasure. It's safe, just trust physics, proceeds to lose phone. If the elevator was gone, more people would ride it. Why must they keep neutering you? Needs more segments, Disney. The most 90s thing in this entire resort. Now that's how you scare kids. I mean, it's a carousel. In a Disney park. Stitch it better, Donald. I don't care if it's 2 hours, we're going, now. It's a bad ride after all. What are those things that hurt again? Feet. I mean, it's cute. Needs more pink elephants though. Standing in the line, gonna have a goofy time. Yuck! Loses its appeal when you're above 3 feet tall. Traumatizing kids since 1999. The most overrated ride in the entire resort. Why am I doing this video during an election year? Needs a little more Kermit the Frog. I mean, at least the ride isn't... right? Right? The loudest ride in the wilderness. New Disney songs make it more timeless? New Orleans Jazz, activate! Watch out, they spit. Really depends on your skipper. It's really cool. No mother that's not actually Johnny Depp. The future never looks so much like an Instagram filter. James Gunn did not write this. At least hide it. One underwhelmed headache coming right up. They got rid of the selling point. It's way better.
Hey, Peter. Thanks for flying with us.
Way better than the wait times tell you. It's okay, a lot of whitefish can't sing. If only its building wasn't stuck in the 70s. Donald, you are a taken man. Let it go. Can't wait in this line anymore. Can't believe I had to ride this. I don't know, the animatronics weren't round enough. Timelines suck, this is the way. Henson's final work. It would suck if people neglected it. Just like The Force Awakens.
Oh, yeah.
Why is my team so bad? You wasted my time. I am truly grateful. Why is Andy's family so loaded? I don't trust people with a high score on this. It's knocking on heaven's door.
That's not Aerosmith.
Still clever. Easily the crown jewel of the entire resort. Complete with a Kevin Spacey jump scare. One good animatronic a good ride does not make. Rise to the challenge of finding good glasses. What is this poaching you speak of?
Splish!
Deadpool shouldn't have to tell you the Yeti is broken. Prehistoric Dumbo. Alright. Way better than the movie it's based on. Okay, I believe that's everything, plus a couple of defunct rides I threw in just for fun. But anyway, we're gonna rank them at 5 of the best and 5 of the worst. Let's start with what rides are actually my favorites. Number 5, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Honestly, the only thing holding this ride back is that they didn't get James Gunn back to write for this, or at least it really doesn't seem like they did. I know it sounds silly, but since the Guardians' dialogue is such a strong part of their charm, when the writer is taken out of that or it just feels off, you can really tell. But other than that, it's a really fun coaster. It has a great layout. It always feels like it has some momentum going for the entire thing. It's great for all ages. The pre-show is good. On my last visit, when Terry Crews asked what Epcot citizens are called, someone yelled out alcoholics. Whoever said that is a national treasure. The story gets kind of lost towards the end, but it's a really fun coaster. Sucks you have to pay extra to ride it, though. Number 4, Peter Pan's Flight. Yes, the wait times for this one are really excessive, but it is that good. Out of all the dark rides in the resort, this one has to be my favorite, which is weird because I don't really have a strong attachment to Peter Pan. I like the film and the character enough, but I never thought about it that much. The ride is just seeing the film through this perspective of the boat in the sky, but I don't know, seeing all those events is just really fun, and the fact that you can't really see the track is such an important detail because it actually just makes you feel like you're flying. It's so simple, but it works so well. Making the London showcase even better, it's just such a wonderful and calm ride when you can make the time for it. Number 3, Avatar Flight of Passage. As someone who has only recently been converted to an Avatar fan, and as cringe as that is to say, I can confidently say that this ride is insanely solid for those who aren't in the movies as the box office suggests. Its pre-shows are a bit of an info dump, but besides that, the bike system for the ride is actually really cool. The fact that thing imitates the Banshee's breathing is such a great detail and shows how much work Joe Rohde and the rest of the team put into this thing. The one thing holding it back is that it is not great for wait times at all. And the fact that you might get a bad pair of glasses after waiting for potentially 4 to 5 hours is becoming more common, and that is just a buzzkill. Other than that, it's easily the best ride in the Animal Kingdom, and it's not an easy feat, mind you. Number 2, Soarin'. The biggest problem that most screen rides face is usually having capacity problems, feeling underwhelming, or just being kinda boring. Soarin' clears all those problems by just being such a simple but genius attraction. You're just flying through the world. It doesn't have to be a complicated plot or have a pre-show that takes too long to get you to understand the ride. It has tons of capacity. The ride is just such a cozy and calming experience, and the fact that it was made when Disney didn't have nearly as much money for their parks is a testament to its quality. Sometimes a little less is more. Number 1, the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Easily Imagineering at the top of their game in the 90s and possibly of all time. The only thing I can really poke holes at is that on some of the screens in certain parts of the ride, the visuals look kinda dated, but that's pretty much it. The vibe is absolutely spot on. The pre-show is quick and tells you everything you need to know while transporting you to a scarier part of the queue. The tower itself is a character and insanely well detailed. Also, it was designed in a way where it wouldn't stick out when you're looking at it from Epcot in Morocco, and that is such an insane level of detail that shows how good this ride is and how much Imagineering really cared at that time. The actual drop is randomized and promotes giving it a re-ride, and you don't really need to know the IP to enjoy this one. I didn't start watching Twilight Zone until I was in my 20s, and if anything, it enhanced my love for this thing because of how faithful this feels. It relies on mostly physical sets to tell its story. It's timeless, fun, and my favorite ride in the entire resort. It's such a classic. So those were my favorite rides, but what are the ones that I just don't care for? Number 5, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Maybe it's not the 5th worst in the entire resort, but it's here for one reason. It's easily the ride that is the least deserving of the wait time it gets. The minecart swinging gimmick is fun for a bit, before you realize they don't really do much else with it, and because it's basically a kiddie coaster, it really can't go as far as you really wish it could. The animatronics have the screen faces because the Imagineers weren't given enough budget to make the really cool ones in the other parks. The queue is kinda cool, I don't know, it's a really overhyped ride that for some reason people just keep lining up in droves for. I don't get it. Number 4, Astro Orbiter. Out of all the Dumbo clones across the parks, this is the one that I'm choosing to represent them all. Not because it's an awful experience, I don't really think a Dumbo-like ride is, but just because it's always way too long of a wait because of the way the ride is designed, or at least the queue is. I think having an elevator to take guests up to this thing was a really weird decision, as that makes the queue so much longer than it needs to be. Just make it like the People Mover with the moving sidewalks and have a cast member choose when the next group can go on, and honestly, that would make this ride not even be in this conversation. Number 3, It's a Small World. I know it's a classic, I know a lot of people love this one, but I don't. I just really don't like the song. I know, kinda petty and trivial, but it is a large part of the ride and what a lot of people say its charm is. I just find it very grating. I think the animatronics are kinda creepy, and the layout being good and the wait times usually not being that crazy are the one thing that's really saving this thing from being the worst. No shots to people who like this one, I personally just never been crazy about it. Number 2, Prince Charming's Carousel. I know, it's kinda lame to put it on the list, but honestly, I don't have much really else to dunk on it for outside the fact it's a carousel. I mean, if you like carousels, you'll probably like this one. I don't know, man, What do you want from me? It's a carousel in a Disney park. Yes, I know, I already made the joke. Number 1, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. This one got a 0 for a few reasons. 1, it always has a ridiculous wait time when it has no reason being it. And I don't mind a long wait time as long as what's coming is worth it. I mean, I gave a lot of rides that had long waits usually good scores because I like those rides and I think they're worth it. That's usually because those rides were technically innovative and added something to the park they were in, and not just being capacity. The only thing this ride adds is, well, capacity to a park that really needs it, and that's about it. It was innovative 10, 15 years ago for a park that needed it in France, but it's really outdated compared to other Disney and Universal efforts before and after it came out. This is just Spider-Man at Universal, but way worse, mainly because it's really just more focused on the screens and not the physical aspects, which is what made Spider-Man work, and there's no reason to really ride this ride unless you're a diehard Ratatouille fan, and even then, y'all deserve a way better ride than this. And I believe that's everything. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It's been an absolute blast to be able to make this. If you guys liked what you saw, please hit up that subscribe button and hit that bell. It's been an absolute pleasure. Other than that, I'll see y'all next time. See ya!